My child, before you scroll away, before your attention is pulled somewhere else, before another voice fills your mind, please give me just one quiet moment. I am not asking for an hour. I am not asking you to understand everything at once. I am simply asking you to pause long enough to hear what your heart has been longing for, even if you did not know how to put it into words. This is not another random message passing across your screen. This is not another distraction competing for your attention. There is a reason you stopped here. There is a reason these words found you at this exact moment. Out of everything you could have been doing, out of every direction your day could have taken, you are here. Do not dismiss that too quickly. I know how fast your days have become. I know how quickly one task becomes another, how one notification replaces the last, and how your mind rarely has a chance to rest. You have learned to keep moving, even when your heart is tired. You smile when you need to. You keep going because people depend on you. You carry responsibilities that no one else fully sees. But beneath all of that, there is a quiet place inside you that has been waiting for stillness. That is why I am calling you now. Not to burden you with more words. Not to make you afraid. Not to remind you of everything you have done wrong. I am calling you because I love you too much to let another day pass without reminding you that you are not walking through this life alone. Do not mistake my gentleness for weakness. When I ask for your attention, it is because something precious deserves to be protected. Sometimes the greatest changes do not begin with dramatic miracles or loud signs from heaven. Sometimes they begin with one quiet moment when a weary heart finally stops running long enough to listen. I see what others cannot see. I see the questions you keep hidden. I see the nights when sleep comes slowly because your thoughts refuse to settle. I see the prayers you whispered only in your heart because you could not find the strength to say them out loud. Nothing about your struggle has escaped my notice. You may wonder why this moment feels different. It is because I have been preparing it long before you arrived here. Long before you opened this video, I knew the weight you would be carrying today. I knew the discouragement that would try to convince you nothing was changing. I knew the temptation to believe that you had been forgotten. But hear me clearly. You have not been forgotten. You have not been abandoned. You have not wandered beyond the reach of my love. Even when you could not feel my presence, I was still walking beside you. Even when your prayers seemed to disappear into silence, I was already working in places your eyes could not yet see. My silence has never meant my absence, and your waiting has never been without purpose. So before you move on, before you tell yourself that you will come back later, stay here with me for just a little longer. Let your breathing slow. Let your shoulders relax. Let the noise around you become quieter, if only for this moment. You do not have to solve every problem today. You do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. Right now, all I am asking is that you remain present with me. Because before I show you what I have been preparing, before I reveal why this season has felt so different, you first need to understand why I lovingly stopped you today. My child, I need you to understand something that you may not have noticed yet. You have been moving faster than your heart was ever created to move. Your calendar has continued to fill. Your responsibilities have continued to grow. Your mind has rarely stopped racing from one concern to the next. Day after day, you have kept putting one foot in front of the other, believing that if you simply kept going, eventually everything would feel lighter. But somewhere along the way, your pace became greater than your peace. You learned how to accomplish more while feeling less. You learned how to answer everyone else's needs before asking how your own heart was doing. You became skilled at appearing strong, even on the days when you quietly wondered how much longer you could keep carrying everything by yourself. I have watched every one of those moments. I saw the mornings when you woke already feeling tired. I saw the conversations where you smiled even though your spirit felt heavy. I saw the silent disappointments that you never shared because you believed no one would truly understand. Nothing escaped my attention. Many people around you have only seen your actions. They have seen your work, your responsibilities, your routines, your efforts to remain dependable. But I see beyond what others notice. I see the places where weariness has settled inside your heart. I see the questions you keep pushing aside because there never seems to be enough time to face them honestly. You keep telling yourself, I'll slow down after this week. Then another week comes. Another responsibility appears. Another problem demands your attention. Another season begins. Without realizing it, you have become accustomed to living in constant motion. Movement is not the same as progress. Busyness is not the same as purpose. Constant activity is not the same as abundant life. I never created you simply to survive one day after another. I created you to experience my peace, even while walking through difficult seasons. Yet peace cannot grow where there is never room to breathe. A heart that is constantly rushing eventually forgets how to rest. That is why I interrupted you. Not because I wanted to slow your success. Not because I wanted to add another responsibility to your day. But because I refused to let you lose yourself while trying to keep up with everything around you. The world rewards speed. It tells you that faster is always better, that productivity determines your worth, that resting means falling behind. If you listen long enough, you begin measuring your value by everything you accomplish instead of remembering who you already are. But my love has never depended on your performance. You do not have to earn my attention. You do not have to prove your value. You do not have to exhaust yourself before believing that you are enough. You were already deeply loved before you accomplished your first success, and you will remain deeply loved even on the days when you feel like you have nothing left to give. Come back to that truth. Let it settle deep within you. You have been running for so long that stillness now feels unfamiliar. When everything becomes quiet, your thoughts immediately begin searching for the next task, the next worry, the next unfinished responsibility. You have trained yourself to keep moving because standing still has begun to feel uncomfortable. But I am inviting you into something different. I am inviting you to remember that your heart cannot flourish if it is always trying to catch up with your life. The deepest healing rarely happens while you are rushing from one obligation to another. It begins when you allow yourself to become fully present with me. In my presence, you do not have to pretend that you are stronger than you feel. You do not have to hide your fears or silence your questions. You can simply be my child. So do not be afraid to slow down for this moment. You are not falling behind. You are allowing your heart to return to the pace where my peace can meet you again. And as you remain here with me, you will begin to discover that the life you have been searching for is not found by moving faster, it is found by walking closer to me. My child, there is something I want you to remember. I have never stopped speaking to you. Even during the seasons when you believed heaven was silent, my voice was still reaching toward your heart. The difference was not that I became distant. The difference was that my voice often came so gently that it was easy to mistake it for your own thoughts. I have spoken to you in quiet ways because love does not always shout. Love often whispers. It waits patiently. It invites rather than forces. I have never desired to overwhelm you with fear or pressure. I have desired something much deeper, a relationship where you recognize my voice because you have learned to trust my heart. Think back to the moments that seemed ordinary. The unexpected pause before making an important decision. The gentle feeling that encouraged you to wait a little longer. The quiet impression that told you to show kindness when you could have responded with anger. The unexplainable peace that came when everything around you looked uncertain. Those moments were not meaningless. I was there. Perhaps there were times when you felt prompted to call someone, only to discover later that they desperately needed encouragement. Perhaps there were moments when you decided not to walk through a certain door, and only afterward realized that what looked like a disappointment had actually become your protection. I was guiding you even when you could not see the entire path. There were also moments when your heart felt unsettled. Even though everything around you appeared perfectly fine, you questioned yourself. You wondered if you were simply overthinking. But many times, I was gently inviting you to look deeper instead of moving forward too quickly. I know that you have wished I would always speak with unmistakable signs. You have asked for certainty, for answers so clear that doubt could never exist. Yet faith often grows in the quiet places. It grows when you choose to trust my gentle leading before you understand where it is taking you. Remember this, my child. I am not absent because I am gentle. The sunrise does not rush across the sky, yet it faithfully brings a new day. The rain does not force the seed to grow overnight, yet it nourishes life beneath the surface. In the same way, my work within you has often been slow enough to strengthen your faith, and gentle enough to preserve your peace. Sometimes you expected me to change your circumstances immediately, while I was first changing your heart. You asked me to remove every obstacle, but I was teaching you how to walk with courage. You prayed for instant clarity, while I was quietly building wisdom that would guide you long after the questions had faded. Nothing I have done has been wasted. Every delay, every unexpected turn, every moment of waiting, even every unanswered question has become part of the story I am writing in your life. Do not underestimate the quiet ways I speak. A heart that learns to recognize my whispers will not panic when life becomes noisy. A heart that knows my peace will not be easily shaken by confusion. That is why I have been patiently teaching you to slow down, to listen, and to notice what many people overlook. Today, I am asking you to trust those quiet moments again. When peace gently settles over your heart, do not dismiss it. When wisdom invites you to wait, do not rush ahead. When compassion stirs you to love someone who seems difficult to love, do not ignore that invitation. These are often the places where my spirit is leading you. You do not need to fear missing my voice. I am not trying to hide from you. I am a loving father who delights in guiding his children. The more you choose to draw near to me, the more familiar my voice will become, not because it grows louder, but because your heart grows more attentive. So, remain close to me. Let the noise of this world fade into the background for a little while. For even now, as you quietly listen, I am speaking with the same love that has been pursuing you all along, gently leading you toward the peace, wisdom, and purpose I have prepared for you. My child, I know there have been moments when you wondered where I was. You prayed with sincerity. You waited with hope. You looked for answers that never seemed to arrive. Day after day, you searched for a sign that I was still listening, yet all you could hear was silence. In those moments, the enemy quietly whispered a lie. He has forgotten you. He is no longer working. Your prayers are going unanswered. But my child, do not confuse my silence with my absence. I have never left the place where I promised to meet you. Even when you could not feel me, I was holding you together. Even when you could not understand my ways, I was carefully arranging what your eyes could not yet see. Remember this truth. Silence is not the same as inactivity. A seed buried beneath the ground appears lifeless. Days pass, and nothing seems to change. Yet beneath the surface, roots are quietly stretching deeper into the soil. Strength is developing before beauty becomes visible. If the seed could only judge by what it sees above the ground, it might believe nothing is happening at all. But growth has already begun. So it has been with you. While you were asking me to change your circumstances, I was strengthening your character. While you were asking for immediate answers, I was preparing your heart to carry the blessings you have been praying for. While you were focused on the closed door in front of you, I was opening pathways you had never imagined. Nothing about this season has been wasted. I have been protecting you from conversations that would have wounded you. I have been delaying opportunities that would have distracted you from your purpose. I have been closing doors that looked promising but would have led you away from the peace I desire for your life. You may not understand every delay today, but one day you will look back and see my fingerprints on every unanswered prayer and every unexpected turn. Have you ever noticed how the sunrise does not arrive all at once? The darkest part of the night often comes just before the first light begins to appear. Yet even while the sky still looks dark, the dawn has already begun its journey. The light is coming long before your eyes can fully recognize it. That is how my work often unfolds. Quietly, patiently, faithfully. I do not rush because I never arrive late. My timing is never careless. It is shaped by wisdom that sees beyond this moment into every tomorrow that lies ahead. There have been times when you begged me to move faster, but if I had answered exactly when you wanted, you would have received a blessing before you were ready to carry it. My delays have never been designed to discourage you. They have been designed to prepare you. Preparation is one of my greatest expressions of love. I care too deeply about your future to build it on a weak foundation. That is why I sometimes strengthen the roots before I reveal the fruit. I deepen your faith before I expand your influence. I teach you dependence before I entrust you with greater responsibility. Do not measure my presence by the volume of my voice or the speed of my answers. Measure it by my faithfulness. Have I not carried you through battles you never thought you would survive? Have I not comforted you in ways that no human words could explain? Have I not opened doors that seemed permanently closed? The same God who was faithful then is faithful now. So if this season feels quieter than the one before, do not allow fear to fill the spaces where trust should grow. Let silence become a place where your faith takes deeper roots. Let waiting become a place where your confidence in me becomes stronger than your confidence in circumstances. Stay close to me, my child. What feels like silence today is not empty. It is filled with my unseen work, my constant care, and my unwavering love. And when the time is right, you will discover that I was never absent for a single moment. I was simply accomplishing in the quiet what could never have been accomplished in the noise. My child, before we continue, I want you to pause for just a moment. If these words have spoken to a place in your heart that no one else could see, do not let this moment pass without responding. Type this simple declaration in the comments. Lord, I choose to listen. Let those words be more than a comment. Let them become a prayer. Let them be your decision to quiet the noise, trust my guidance, and remain open to what I am about to reveal. If this message has encouraged your spirit, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to this channel so you can continue receiving messages that strengthen your faith and remind you that you are never alone. And if someone you love has been feeling weary, uncertain, or distant from hope, share this message with them. You never know how one quiet moment in my presence can begin to change someone's life forever. Now, stay with me, because what I want to show you next may be exactly what your heart has been waiting to hear. My child, I know there have been many moments when you looked at your life and quietly asked, why is everything taking so long? You have watched doors remain closed after praying with all your heart. You have waited for opportunities that seemed certain to arrive, only to see them disappear. You have wondered why answers came quickly for others while your own prayers appeared to linger in silence. I heard every one of those questions. Not once did your disappointment escape my notice. Not once did your tears fall without me seeing them. But I need you to understand something that your present perspective cannot fully reveal. The things you have called delays have often been my protection. You saw a closed door. I saw a path that would have led you into unnecessary pain. You saw rejection. I saw redirection. You saw lost time. I saw preparation that could not be rushed. There are blessings that seem beautiful from a distance but carry burdens you are not meant to bear. There are opportunities that promise success while quietly pulling your heart away from the purpose I have prepared for you. Had I given you everything you asked for the moment you asked, you might have celebrated what would later have wounded you. Because I love you, I sometimes answer your prayers with, not yet. That answer is not a denial of my goodness. It is evidence of my wisdom. Think about a loving parent holding back a child who wants to run across a busy road. The child may only see the delay. The parent sees the danger. The child may not understand the interruption in that moment, but one day they will realize that what felt like frustration was actually protection. My child, I see far beyond the horizon of your understanding. I know the conversations you never had that would have broken your peace. I know the relationships that appeared promising but would have slowly drained your joy. I know the opportunities that looked perfect but were built on unstable foundations. I also know the doors that I have kept open in ways you have not yet recognized. While one opportunity disappeared, I was quietly shaping another. While one dream seemed delayed, I was preparing something that would align more deeply with the person you are becoming. You have often measured my faithfulness by how quickly circumstances changed. But my faithfulness is not measured by speed, it is measured by my constant care. I would rather have you arrive at the right destination later than reach the wrong destination sooner. Never mistake my patience for indifference. When I slow your journey, it is because I value your future more than your temporary comfort. I am not interested in giving you something that only satisfies you for a season. I desire to lead you into what will strengthen your faith, deepen your character, and bring lasting peace. There are lessons that can only be learned while waiting. Waiting teaches trust when answers are hidden. Waiting strengthens hope when emotions grow weary. Waiting reveals whether your confidence rests in circumstances or in me. That is why some seasons cannot be shortened. They are not empty seasons. They are growing seasons. Even now, while you wonder why certain prayers remain unanswered, I am arranging details you cannot yet imagine. People are being positioned. Hearts are being prepared. Circumstances are quietly shifting. More importantly, your own heart is becoming stronger, wiser, and more dependent on my presence than ever before. So I ask you, my child, do not resent the waiting. Do not despise the closed doors. Do not assume that every delay is working against you. Some of the greatest expressions of my love have come through the prayers I answered differently than you expected. One day you will look back and realize that the moments which tested your patience were also the moments that preserved your purpose. You will see that I was never withholding what was good from you. I was faithfully protecting what was precious within you until the right time had fully come. So, keep trusting me. Even when the road feels longer than you hoped, my hand has never left yours. Every step, every pause, every unexpected delay has been leading you not away from my promises, but safely toward them. My child, there are wounds within you that very few people know exist. Some have been hidden for so long that even you have forgotten how deeply they affected your heart. You learn to smile through disappointment. You learn to speak with confidence while quietly carrying insecurity. You learn to comfort others while secretly wondering who would comfort you. But I know, I have always known, nothing hidden from the world has ever been hidden from me. I see the places where rejection left its mark. I see the words that were spoken over you years ago that you still carry as though they define your worth. I see the disappointments that taught you to expect less so you would not be hurt again. I see the prayers that seemed unanswered, causing you to question whether you were truly seen. My child, those wounds do not frighten me. They are not too deep for my grace. They are not too complicated for my wisdom. They are not too old for my healing. You have often prayed for me to change your circumstances, while I have been quietly restoring the heart that must walk through those circumstances. Because if I only changed everything around you without healing what is within you, the same fears would follow you into every new season. That is why my healing begins deeper than appearances. I do not simply cover your pain, I transform it. I do not ask you to pretend it never happened. I redeem what tried to define you. Even now, while you wonder why you are changing, I am gently removing beliefs that never came from me. The voice that tells you that you are not enough, that is not my voice. The fear that whispers you will always fail, that is not my voice. The shame that keeps reminding you of your past, that is not my voice. Listen carefully to the voice that has been speaking over you all along. You are loved. You are chosen. You are not forgotten. You are not beyond restoration. These are the truths I have been planting within your heart, even when your emotions struggled to believe them. Healing is often quieter than you expected. Many people imagine healing as one extraordinary moment when every burden suddenly disappears. Sometimes I choose to work that way. But more often, healing unfolds gently, one layer at a time. A little more peace where fear once lived. A little more hope where discouragement once settled. A little more courage every time you choose to trust me again. Do not overlook those quiet miracles. They are evidence that my spirit is at work. Perhaps you have noticed that some things no longer affect you the way they once did. Situations that would have overwhelmed you before now leave you with unexpected calm. Conversations that once wounded you no longer hold the same power. The pain has not vanished overnight, but it no longer rules your heart. That is healing. Perhaps you have begun forgiving people you never imagined you could forgive. Perhaps you are learning to release burdens that you carried for years. Perhaps you are slowly discovering that your identity is not found in your failures, your losses, or the opinions of others. That is healing too. My child, be patient with yourself. Do not measure your progress by comparing your journey with someone else's. Every heart has its own story, and every restoration unfolds according to my perfect wisdom. What matters is not how quickly you heal, but that you continue walking with me. So bring me every hidden fear. Bring me every unanswered question. Bring me every memory that still causes your heart to ache. You do not have to carry them alone anymore. I am not only preparing your future, I am restoring your heart so that when the blessings I have promised finally arrive, you will have the freedom to receive them with peace instead of fear, with gratitude instead of anxiety, and with confidence instead of doubt. Trust me, my child. Even now, in ways no one else can see, I am healing you from the inside out, and the person who rises from this season will be stronger, gentler, wiser, and more deeply rooted in my love than ever before. My child, when you think about change, you often imagine something large. You believe you must have every answer before you move forward. You tell yourself that one day, when your faith is stronger, your fears are gone, and your circumstances improve, then you will fully trust me. But that is not how faith grows. Faith is rarely built through one giant leap. More often, it is formed through many small steps taken in quiet obedience. It grows every time you choose to trust me, even when you cannot yet see where the path is leading. Do not underestimate your next small yes. It matters more than you think. Perhaps your next step is simply spending a few quiet minutes with me before beginning your day instead of rushing into another long list of responsibilities. Perhaps your next step is forgiving someone who has occupied your heart with bitterness for far too long. Perhaps it is choosing peace instead of replaying the same worries over and over again. Or perhaps it is finally believing that you do not have to carry tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. Whatever that next step may be, I am not asking you to walk it alone. I am walking beside you. Remember how a child learns to walk. The first steps are uncertain. There are moments of hesitation. There are times when the child stumbles and falls. Yet a loving parent does not become disappointed because of those small failures. Instead, every step forward is celebrated because each one builds confidence for the next. That is how I look at you. I do not expect perfection. I delight in willingness. Every small act of trust opens your heart a little wider to my peace. Every decision to obey my gentle leading strengthens your confidence in my faithfulness. Even when your progress feels slow, I see what is happening beneath the surface. Just as roots grow quietly before branches stretch toward the sky, your trust is becoming stronger in ways you cannot yet measure. Do not let fear convince you that your small decisions are insignificant. Small choices shape great journeys. One prayer offered with a sincere heart can change the direction of a life. One act of forgiveness can release years of hidden pain. One moment of surrender can open the door to peace that has been waiting patiently to enter your heart. The enemy wants you to believe that if you cannot change everything today, there is no point in changing anything at all. But that is a lie. I have often accomplished my greatest work through what appeared to be small beginnings. What seems ordinary in your eyes may become extraordinary when it is placed in my hands. So, stop measuring your faith by the size of your circumstances. Measure it by your willingness to keep walking with me, one step at a time. Today, I am not asking you to understand your entire future. I am asking you to trust me with the next step. Take it with courage. Take it with hope. Take it knowing that my hand has never left yours. As you continue to walk with me, you will one day look back and realize that the smallest moments of trust became the turning points that quietly transformed your life. What began as one simple act of obedience will become the foundation upon which I build a future filled with greater peace, deeper joy, and a faith that can stand firm through every season. My child, when you think about change, you often imagine something large. You believe you must have every answer before you move forward. You tell yourself that one day, when your faith is stronger, your fears are gone, and your circumstances improve, then you will fully trust me. But that is not how faith grows. Faith is rarely built through one giant leap. More often, it is formed through many small steps taken in quiet obedience. It grows every time you choose to trust me, even when you cannot yet see where the path is leading. Do not underestimate your next small yes. It matters more than you think. Perhaps your next step is simply spending a few quiet minutes with me before beginning your day instead of rushing into another long list of responsibilities. Perhaps your next step is forgiving someone who has occupied your heart with bitterness for far too long. Perhaps it is choosing peace instead of replaying the same worries over and over again. Or perhaps it is finally believing that you do not have to carry tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. Whatever that next step may be, I am not asking you to walk it alone. I am walking beside you. Remember how a child learns to walk. The first steps are uncertain. There are moments of hesitation. There are times when the child stumbles and falls. Yet a loving parent does not become disappointed because of those small failures. Instead, every step forward is celebrated because each one builds confidence for the next. That is how I look at you. I do not expect perfection. I delight in willingness. Every small act of trust opens your heart a little wider to my peace. Every decision to obey my gentle leading strengthens your confidence in my faithfulness. Even when your progress feels slow, I see what is happening beneath the surface. Just as roots grow quietly before branches stretch toward the sky, your trust is becoming stronger in ways you cannot yet measure. Do not let fear convince you that your small decisions are insignificant. Small choices shape great journeys. One prayer offered with a sincere heart can change the direction of a life. One act of forgiveness can release years of hidden pain. One moment of surrender can open the door to peace that has been waiting patiently to enter your heart. The enemy wants you to believe that if you cannot change everything today, there is no point in changing anything at all. But that is a lie. I have often accomplished my greatest work through what appeared to be small beginnings. What seems ordinary in your eyes may become extraordinary when it is placed in my hands. So, stop measuring your faith by the size of your circumstances. Measure it by your willingness to keep walking with me, one step at a time. Today, I am not asking you to understand your entire future. I am asking you to trust me with the next step. Take it with courage. Take it with hope. Take it knowing that my hand has never left yours. As you continue to walk with me, you will one day look back and realize that the smallest moments of trust became the turning points that quietly transformed your life. What began as one simple act of obedience will become the foundation upon which I build a future filled with greater peace, deeper joy, and a faith that can stand firm through every season. My child, I know there have been days when peace felt like something that belonged to someone else. You have watched others seem confident while you quietly wrestled with uncertainty. You have wondered if the calm you have prayed for would ever become your reality. Some mornings you woke already carrying tomorrow's worries. Some nights you closed your eyes only to find that your thoughts refused to rest. But listen to me carefully. You are much closer to peace than you realize. Not because every problem has disappeared, not because every question has already been answered, but because I have been leading your heart toward a place where my peace no longer depends on your circumstances. True peace has never been the absence of storms. It has always been the assurance that I am with you in the middle of them. The waves may still rise. The wind may still blow. The future may still contain questions you cannot yet answer. Yet none of these things are greater than my presence beside you. There was a time when every unexpected challenge immediately filled your heart with fear. Every delay felt like failure. Every closed door seemed like the end of the story. But look carefully at what I have already done within you. You are not responding the way you once did. The panic that used to control you is slowly giving way to patience. The confusion that once overwhelmed you is beginning to make room for trust. This is not because you have become stronger on your own. It is because my peace has been quietly taking root in your heart. Peace rarely arrives with great fanfare. More often it grows quietly, like the first light before sunrise. At first, the darkness still seems to cover everything. Yet little by little, the horizon begins to change. The light does not argue with the darkness. It simply continues to shine until darkness can no longer remain. That is what my presence is doing within you. Every moment you choose trust instead of fear. Every prayer you whisper instead of surrendering to despair. Every time you return to me instead of running toward distraction, the light grows stronger. Do not become discouraged because the transformation feels gradual. Lasting peace is not built in a single day. It is formed through daily moments of surrender, daily reminders of my faithfulness, and daily decisions to believe my promises more than your fears. So, lift your eyes, my child. Do not focus only on what still needs to change. Remember how far I have already brought you. The person you are today is not the same person who began this journey. I have been strengthening you with every step, even when you could not see it. Continue walking with me. Continue trusting my timing. Continue resting in my promises. For the peace you have been searching for is not somewhere far ahead, waiting for the perfect circumstances. It is already drawing near, growing quietly within you as you remain close to me. And soon you will realize that what once felt impossible has become your new way of living, a heart that rests securely in my love, no matter what tomorrow brings. My child, before this moment comes to an end, I want you to remember one simple truth. You are not the same person who first began listening. Perhaps nothing around you has changed yet. Your circumstances may still look the same. The responsibilities waiting for you may still be there. The questions you brought into this moment may not all have immediate answers, but something deeper has begun. A seed of peace has been planted. A new awareness has awakened. A fresh reminder of my presence has settled into your heart. Do not underestimate what happens when a heart truly pauses to listen. The greatest transformations rarely begin with dramatic events. They begin quietly, in moments like this, when someone chooses to trust me instead of rushing ahead alone. As you leave this moment, carry my words with you. When fear tries to return, remember that I am with you. When uncertainty whispers that nothing is changing, remember that I am working even when you cannot yet see the results. When the world urges you to hurry, remember that my peace is found by walking closely with me, not by running ahead of me. You do not have to face tomorrow with all the strength you think you need. You only need to walk with me one step at a time. My grace will meet you there. My wisdom will guide you there. My love will sustain you there. So do not leave this moment the same way you entered it. Leave with a quieter heart. Leave with renewed hope. Leave knowing that you are deeply seen, completely loved, and faithfully guided. From this day forward, choose awareness over distraction, trust over fear, and my voice over every voice that tells you to give up. I have gone before you, I remain beside you, and I will continue to lead you. Walk forward in peace, my child. I am with you, and I always will be. Heavenly Father, thank you for meeting us in this quiet moment. Thank you for reminding us that your presence has never left us, even when we could not see what you were doing. Thank you for speaking with love, patience, and truth. Lord, we place every burden into your hands. Where there is fear, fill us with your peace. Where there is confusion, bring your wisdom. Where there is weariness, renew our strength. Heal the wounds that no one else can see, and restore every place in our hearts that has grown tired from carrying too much for too long. Teach us to trust your timing, even when we do not understand it. Help us to recognize your gentle voice above every distraction, and to follow wherever you lead. Give us the courage to take the next step of faith, knowing that you are already walking beside us. May your peace guard our hearts, your truth guide our minds, and your love shape every decision we make. Let our lives reflect your goodness, and help us become a source of hope and encouragement to those around us. We choose today to rest in your promises, to release our worries, and to place our future completely in your hands. In the mighty and loving name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Before you leave, I invite you to make a simple declaration of faith. Don't let these words remain only something you listen to. Let them become something you choose to live. Type this in the comments. Lord, I choose to trust your timing. I will listen to your voice, walk in your peace, and follow you one step at a time. If that is the desire of your heart, write it with faith. Every declaration is a reminder that you are choosing God's promises over fear and his truth over doubt. If this message encouraged you today, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the message God may have prepared for you in the days ahead. And if you know someone who is feeling overwhelmed, discouraged, or searching for hope, share this message with them. One act of kindness can become the answer to someone else's prayer. Remember, you are deeply loved, you are never alone, and God is still working even in the quiet moments you cannot yet understand. Until we meet again, may the Lord bless you, strengthen you, and fill your heart with his perfect peace.